shut up. I got shut up. Gosh, dang it, guys. I'm going to do a stream up here. I got to do an interview. Hey, guys. I'm getting ready to do an interview at 9 o'clock. So you guys can listen in. Oh, that's great news, man. So if you guys want to tune in, hey, what's up, Aaron? Hey, Willow, Ellie, shut up already. Is there a way to keep them out of here? You what? No, I mean when I do this interview. Okay. I'm not saying right now. Yeah. That we didn't even know that K9 when it happened. It was funny. We were at the movies and we're like, wait, what? It was a gift. The hat was. Yeah, it's been a good while. I know. Hey, Sully. What's up, my friend? Excuse me. What do you mean, do I remember him? I played with him. You know, I played, right? You know, I played baseball. I'm talking Facebook use. I don't know. Maybe you don't know that I played baseball. And I played in Arizona. And I played with Matt Manti. All right. Here's what we need. We need a goal in the third period from Kampf, Highmore, or Carpenter on Chicago. Yeah, I didn't know if you. I don't. I didn't understand why you were asking if I remember my. Like I played with them. Yeah, and that was. I talked to him, and he got in trouble recently. Yeah, I'm not sure why or how I am losing weight, and it kind of worries me actually. Yeah, you don't want me at chess either. No, I don't miss Periscope at all. Seems like the only idiots to get here. Make the playoffs? Oh God, no. They won't even be a 500 team. Hey, does this phone have a speaker, hon? Our house phone? Okay.
I think it's on the bottom right or the bottom left.
Okay. Thank you. Oh, there it is. Okay. It's the picture of the speaker, I guess. Huh?
Arthur Director Radio.
Hey, Greg, it's Kirk Schilling. How you doing, brother?
Oh, pretty good, man. How are you?
Hey, listen. Is there? I can do. Is this reception okay?
I mean, don't sound bad.
Okay. Is there? Could I Skype into the show?
We don't have the Skype capability.
Okay. No, I'm just checking. I just let Mark know I'm on Haps TV. I'm streaming, and I'll probably have 3,000 or 4,000 people that'll be on the stream with me listening to the show.
Okay.
So I just wanted to let Mark know. So because I'm trying to, no reason not to try and increase his fan base.
Yeah, sure.
So
all right, hang on for me. Let him know what you got going on.
all right, I text him. You want me to call back at 9:03?
You can if you'd like.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, cool.
All right, brother.
All right, man.
Later. Yeah, Ben, I was on late last night. I actually played quite a bit. Yeah, Aaron, it's been late. I've been doing it later. Doing okay. Cuomo's a piece of trash we thought he was.
Artifact Radio.
Yeah, it's Kurt again.
Oh, hey, Kurt. All right,
Hey.
hang on for me.
All right.
American Radio. If they want to take my guns, they're going to have to bring a station wagon and a whole lot of friends, because I'm not giving them anything. From the Car Firearms Studio. Mark, we know they want to take our guns, and now we're going to make them eat it. It's 2021. We're in a new decade. Freedom might be an uphill battle sometimes, but freedom will always prevail. Proudly presented to you by X Insurance. X Insurance. On the Lead Slingers microphone. here is your host of Armed American Radio, the loudest conservative voice in America fighting for your rights, Mark Walter. Oh man, welcome inside Armed American Radio's Monster Cast Studios. This is why I love doing this radio program. I live to do this show every single day, 6 days a week. But when an hour pops up like this, then it takes everything and elevates it to a whole brand spanking new level. First off, welcome inside the studios with me. You can now watch the program live streaming on armedamericanradio.org or .com. Take your pick, whatever you choose. You can now watch the program live on OpsLens in the app, on the website. You can watch it on Roku and Apple TV and lots of other places now. That's a beautiful thing. You can watch it on Facebook at OpsLens, facebook.com/OpsLens. Like I said, you can just go to Armed American Radio. However you want to get it, you can get it. You're also tuned in nearing 260 radio stations across the country now, heading into our 13th year, beginning on April 27th. That is a remarkable run. We have never missed a Sunday broadcast, a weekly broadcast ever since the inception of this program. That's a remarkable run, and it's just evidence of how much we love to do this and talk about these things with you every single day. Every single bit of this is being brought to you by X Insurance. Please make sure to check out all of our partners. But X Insurance has you covered for your lifestyle, your guns, your concealed carry needs, your homeowners' needs. As I said, if you jump out of planes, they cover you. If you fly the planes and instruct people how to do it, they cover you. Visit xinsurance.com for everything that they have over there. There's an incredible suite of products from an AM Best A-rated company. All right, here's the deal. About a year and a half ago, I lose track of time. I'll have these guys remind me. But I did some time in Arizona with my good friend Curt Schilling, Major League Baseball legend, and soon-to-be Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. And we hooked up with Sheriff Mark Daniels. We did the Freedom Parade, and we held a town hall meeting. Curt and I both did a little ride-along with Mark. We went out and we had some dinner. Met some of his family, had a fantastic time, and I learned so much and saw so much about what happened at that border. I was disgusted with my government. Yeah, I was sick to my stomach. Let's bring both of these people in. Let's start first with Sheriff Mark Daniels, Arizona, Cochise County Sheriff, and I'm proud to call him a friend. Sheriff Daniels, how are you, my friend?
Hello, Mark, and thanks for having me on the show.
It is always a pleasure to have you on. When I saw the Epic Times article, I said, I got to get you on the program, got to call you. And let's go over to our good friend Curt Schilling, Major League Baseball legend. Curt, how the heck are you, brother? So good to have you on the program.
Big man, it's been far, far too long. Sheriff, how are you, sir?
I'm doing well. It's good to get all three of us back together again.
It is. Hey, before we start, Sheriff, please tell your wife I said hello.
Of course I will.
Guys, before we go any farther, Curt, let's start with this. Shonda, she's doing well. Chemo's done. She rang the bell. How we doing over there?
Yeah, we're going through a little rough patch right now. She's getting ready. She starts her radiation on Tuesday. Her last chemo was really a butt kicker for her. But my God, she's every bit as strong as anybody I've ever met, and we're grinding through this. And we just bought a home in Tennessee, so we're getting ready to move out of this blue state and move into America.
Welcome to freedom. You know, our thoughts and our prayers, obviously, are with Shonda, you and the family. As you know, I went through it here. My wife went through it, so we're with you. We got you.
Thank you.
And, we'll do anything we can. You know it. All right, guys, let's get started. Curt, let me start with you. When you and I went to Arizona, we had a great time at Freedom Expo, with the Freedom thing and all. But man, I'll tell you what. When you and I got to that border deal at Sierra Vista, I think you were as shocked or more shocked than I was, and I was sick to my stomach. Tell us about what you saw when you were there watching Mark give the presentation.
Well, it wasn't as much as what I saw as what I heard. I was absolutely blown away by some of the data. One of the things I've preached, and I got to tell you, Sheriff, you have been on my mind since Election Day, and how hard your life was before that. I can't even fathom how much harder it's going to get. I'm not going to ask you to make a political opinion or comment because I understand the pressures of your job, but I don't even want to guess how much harder your job has gotten. And the things that I learned from you, the information about the Colorado marijuana dispensaries and the drug cartels in Mexico and their controlling and all defense stuff. I'm blown away by the fact that sharing that information fell on and I'm sure you see this too, on a lot of deaf ear. People just refuse to acknowledge it, refuse to believe it. And it's one of the reasons I think we are where we are. But the stuff I learned there was, hearing from ranchers who had family members killed by drug runners, hearing from ranchers who have, watching, being in Tombstone and having it explained to me that the main thoroughfare through Tombstone was literally a drug running highway. And thinking that, and I don't know what we were at. We were an hour from Tucson, and Tucson at the time was taking a vote about becoming a sanctuary city. I cannot logically put together the liberal take and the real world when it comes to our border.
Sheriff Daniels, tell us about it, because what Kurt was, the two of us were in a meeting after all the events for the day when one of your deputies, and I think maybe it was you, said they're running right past us right now. As we're sitting here, we've lost tons and tons and tons of drugs coming right past us in front of the hotel. That's on 80, which is Fremont Street in Tombstone. Tell us, that's unbelievable.
Well, it is unbelievable. Thank you, Kurt. It's been a challenge. When President Trump was in office, we had a very open dialogue all the way up to the White House with the Department of Homeland Security, with CBP, and I mean, we moved our border security plan more than I've been in law enforcement 37 years. This is my 37th year, and we moved that needle so positive for the Americans in this country to keep them safe. And within hours of the new president being elected, he executive order reversed it, and we got it. And this is a big question down here on the border right now: is did he do it because it was a Trump program, or did he do it because it wasn't working? And I think we all know what that means.
Well, hold on, Sheriff. I'm sorry to interrupt. I would like, and I know this is just your opinion, but my question to you is: did the Biden executive orders disbanding Trump programs at the border, were those executive orders issued because they were Trump programs or because they weren't working?
Well, I think there's two reasons they were reversed. One, because this is my opinion. First one is because it was Trump. Number two was it was political. And whenever you insert politics into what we do in law enforcement, local, state, and federal, it's going to fracture it. And guess what we have? We have a fracture on our border. We are seeing the histories of the southwest border coming alive again, all the way back to 2019, where we had 141 countries breach our border. 20 different countries that represent 1,100 gang members breach our border. 822 assaults on federal agents. 6,100 fraud families, 3,500 kids being exploited, and we, the United States, took those kids and gave them a future, gave them truly a future. And that's not being talked about. The problem we're having right now is the mainstream media is not talking about it. They don't want nothing to do with this as our southern border becomes wide open.
If they're not going to, and Kurt, I don't know if you saw this, but I'm sure you did, but let me read you the headline on the Epic Times piece. This is what made me reach out to you right away, Mark. Arizona sheriff sees five-fold increase in illegal border crossings. Mark, that's February 17th. It's the 28th. It's 11 days ago, man.
It didn't take long to turn the light on, and the only difference is, as Tom Burnett said, lights on, come visit, and that's exactly what we've done on our southwest border. And to give you an example, as some might not know, some of your listeners might not know, is over the last 7 years, we've incorporated and stood up a 1,000 camera system. It's virtual, an amazing system, goes from all the way to California, all the way to Mexico, Texas, and it's housed out in my county here in Cochise. And we got a 100% conviction rate in my county for any drug smokers. You get caught, you're going to prison. Juvenile adults put you in prison. You're safe. With juveniles are safer than us than they are with cartels. And everybody needs to realize anything that comes across that border is cartel issues. Everybody thinks, well, these are poor families. No, the cartel's got their thumb all over this, and that's organized crime. So going back to what's happened down here on the border is with this message of come on in. This is a good. I couldn't pass this one up to tell you guys today on this one. Is Border Patrol, and let's commend our federal agents, our United States Border Patrol and Customs folks that are just, their hands are tied, they're overwhelmed again. repeat a negative part of history, I feel bad for my fellow partners. But all right, that said, Sheriff, stop. That's a perfect place. With that said, when we come back, we're going to let Sheriff Daniels tell us exactly what's going on. Trust me when I tell you, this is going to be the fastest hour in radio you heard all week. So pay careful attention. The breaks are going to come quick. I apologize for that. Sheriff Daniels and Major League Baseball legend Curt Schilling right after this. Don't go away. Hey, Mark Walters here. You know, in today's world, violent crime can victimize anyone at any time. You already know that. When it's your time, will you be able to protect yourself and your loved ones? That's the question. For your personal protection, consider Front Sight, one of the world's premier firearms training facilities located near Las Vegas, Nevada. Front Sight's founder and director, Dr. Ignatius Piazza, has arranged for you and your family to train there too, free of charge. Yes, it's true. Enter frontsight.com/mark into your computer browser to secure a $2,000 4-day defensive handgun course absolutely free of charge with no hidden surprises or catches. Enter frontsight.com/mark, M-A-R-K. After your first course at Front Sight, you'll leave with skills that surpass 99% of the gun-owning population, guaranteed. Nobody does it better than Front Sight, but must act before these free courses are all taken. Secure your free 4-day course at frontsight.com/mark. The 25th anniversary K9 and the Thunderbolt P9 in various configurations. Magnum Research, the classic Desert Eagle available in 50, 44, 357, and the new 429 KE caliber. The Z-Bar, biggest, finest revolvers, and the Magnum Light. Auto Ordnance, the classic, constant, that's right, the Tommy Gun, the incredible M1 carbine, and the one and only classic 1911. Car firearms. Standing for your family's freedom. Hey guys, it's Mark. You know, from listening to the program, you're very well aware that our partner, gunbroker.com, they celebrated over 20 years in business, but what you didn't know is there are now over 6 million registered users. 6 million registered users. Think about that for a second. And it gets better because those 6 million registered users can view over 1 million items listed every single day. 1 million items every single day. I promise that what you can't find on your store shelves, you can find at gunbroker.com. And you will. It's real simple to register. Visit gunbroker.com today to get started. 100% free, always will be.
It's well known that we live in a world where even good police officers can become targets for frivolous lawsuits. At X Insurance, we provide custom liability insurance for police officers to eliminate your exposure, to help prevent you from becoming a target, and to protect you from unscrupulous lawyers. And if lawsuits do arise, we aggressively fight them. We do this in part by encouraging our law enforcement clients to take the X Insurance Say Something pledge. We're the very best at what we do. We've been doing it for more than 40 years. We offer same-day quotes and solutions. So call us today or have your insurance agent call us, and we can work with them to fill any gaps in your existing insurance policy. Let's call today, and let's get that target off your back. At X Insurance, we believe in good police officers, and we believe in protecting good police officers. For more information, visit xinsurance.com. That's xinsurance.com.
The North American Arms 32 NAA Guardian pistol, designed in partnership with Conmore Ammunition. The 32 NAA fires a cartridge based on the .380 case, but necked down to hold the smaller .32 bullet. The result is a remarkable gain in ballistic performance that produces more velocity, energy, and stopping power than any conventional .32 ACP, .380 ACP, or .380 ACP plus the 32 NAA from North American Arms. For more information, please visit NorthAmericanArms.com. NorthAmericanArms.com. America was founded through the blood of hard-fighting, hard-drinking men. Men who believe in freedom and whiskey, who lay down their lives and their fortunes forging the bedrock of this republic, and in doing so created a new species of man, the American. Let's look at whiskey was founded by 7 combat veterans who were tired of people afraid to support the Second Amendment. Together, they brought their love of American bourbon whiskey to freedom-loving, like-minded Americans. For more information and to read the story of Legislators Whiskeys and Rum, visit legislatorswhiskey.com today. Mike Gallagher wanting to let you know that the crew of the Desperado Sport Fish in Virginia Beach, Virginia supports Armed American Radio and the Second Amendment. I'm right there with them. Now back to Mark Walters. Thank you very much for that rejoin. Mike Gallagher, great talk radio host and a great friend. I am Mark Walters. I am filling your prescription for freedom.
country today, coast to coast, hundreds of radio stations, losing count. I guess nearing 260 radio stations now. You can watch the program live on many platforms. OpsLens on their Facebook page, OpsLens on their app. You can watch it on ArmedAmericanRadio.org. Coming to you from the Video Network studios now, as the program just continues to explode across the country. All of this, remember, our sponsors and our partners make it all possible after all these years. All that being brought to you by X Insurance. It's real simple. Just check them out, xinsurance.com. We'll talk more about that in the next hour. Also, we are on the Lead Slingers Whiskey microphone. Yeah, that's exactly. And this is the Car Firearms Studio. I mean, the coolest studio names, and microphone names, and the coolest companies presenting the show to us that we can imagine. Very quickly, before we go back to both of my guests, incredible guys and good friends of mine, take a listen to this. Danos tracks illegal border crossings through his extensive hidden trail camera operation along his county's 83 miles of shared border with Mexico. Now, put that in perspective. Get in your car, drive 83 miles. Okay? See how long it takes you. You went at 60 miles an hour. That's his shared border down there. The cameras showed 1,200 illegal entries in August 2020, and by December it had more than doubled to 2,500. Before August, 500 was a busy month. Mark says, though I believe politics has no business in policing, sure has an effect on the border. That's what scares me about this whole thing. Kurt Schilling, let's go back to you. Welcome back, my friend. Always a pleasure to have you here. Then, you intro Mark, please.
So I had the honor of meeting Sheriff Daniels, and I got to tell you, I don't know that there's any, and it was one of those things, Sheriff, I was trying to think of how to tell your message, and two things jumped out at me. Number one, the media doesn't want to hear your message, which is criminal. And number two, the message the media is portraying is one of broken human beings seeking a better life, bringing all their belongings to the border and asking for safe passage and amnesty. And that isn't even remotely the story for 99% of the people that are caught on your trail cameras. And I don't know. I mean, listen, what has happened to our country since December or since November of last year is criminal in every sense of the word. And you don't have to say anything. I'll comfortably say that. But what is happening at the border is negligent. And I don't mean by you and your men and women. I mean by the government. And we've seen this. This was Obama for 8 years, and this is going to be Biden for 4. The desire to turn their backs on the men and women who serve this nation and who protect our borders. Because let's be very clear, you can't be a sovereign nation without borders. And the left is doing everything it can in rapid fashion to eliminate our borders. And they're not doing it, again, they're not doing it for the downtrodden. I don't know. I guess at the core of the question is, I don't understand why they're doing it. I mean, obviously everybody, the high school argument is, well, they're allowing more Democratic voters to come in the country. Now that they're partaking in the downfall of the middle class and the lower middle class, because these people aren't coming in here and taking engineering jobs at Microsoft. These people aren't coming in here to take jobs to make a better life for themselves. These people are bringing drugs. They're bringing enough fentanyl in to kill half the Western civilization. And they're doing it now against the force of people. Well, and one more point. The cartel is doing it with an unlimited budget versus a force that has now got to
Well stated, Kurt, and thank you for saying it. And you're exactly right. Sheriffs look at 3 different things: public safety, national security, and humanitarian. Now, let me share something with you. I got over the weekend. My fellow sheriff, the county over from me, he had 25 911 calls from illegals saying, "Hey, can you come pick us up? Border Patrol said they're too busy." I'll put that in perspective for a minute. Wow. Got a call. 25 911 calls, just one county in over a short 24-hour period saying, "Hey, come get me. Border Patrol said they can't get us till tomorrow." And what I'm saying to you is, they're dropping them off. We had 100 dropped off at our Walmart in our county. The catch and release, the MPP microprotective protocol. All this is being rescinded. They're tying the hands of our federal government. There's direct impact on our local communities, and people need to understand what happens in the backyards of my county are going to be yours very, very soon. And I have a sheriff friend in Texas from the RG, Rio Grande area, that the community is actually looking to get buses out of their own local dollars to transport these illegals by the hundreds into Washington, D.C. And I'll say this too, for the listeners. You know, when Biden was an hour taken office, he reversed the emergency clause on our southwest border. And what that did was to stop the border, physical barrier. We left 6-foot trenches and the land destroyed out there. I just did a media article here about a week ago. It's going to be coming out. No environmentalists, nobody's talking about that. Nobody even saying anything about that. It's a tragedy down there on that border. And second to that is we lost resources. We had hundreds of construction trucks and equipment just on the border doing nothing right now. And 100 people were laid off, and we're doing this border security plan down here. So I call it political theater. I call it hastiness on the backs of every American. And people don't understand what's really going on that border. And that's why it's happening right now.
Sheriff and Kurt, I sit here dumbfounded because I've seen this with my own eye. Okay, it's hard to convey when you don't have help. Sheriff, we agree or disagree right now, but if you don't have help from the mainstream press in any way, shape, or form, it is really difficult to convey. We're trying to play theater of the mind here on the show to convey to people across the country right now what you're up against and what we saw with our own eyes, what Kurt and I saw when you showed it to us and your crew of amazing deputies and showed us what was happening there. But without that help, I mean, your hands are somewhat tied, are they not?
Well, they are, because we have a collective effort down here. Cochise County has been leading the way when it comes to working with state, local, federal, our governor, our community. We've all embraced missions, and that is to secure our county and build it from there. We've done amazing things. So the reason I'm so vocal on this is we've come so far for somebody to sit back. And I got to say this, too. Somebody's going to say, well, Sheriff, they haven't talked to you. Well, that's by design, in my opinion. And here's what I'll say, too, is I was on the Biden transition team for the National Sheriff Association of 4 sheriffs. I've shared what I'm sharing with you when it comes to how we've been successful on the border, our collective efforts, what is working. And it was a great conversation. That went on deaf ears, truly deaf ears, because within hours of taking office, the political theater started, and I'm not being mean with that, but what I see down here is our voice didn't mean anything here on the rural southwest border.
All right, guys, we're getting ready to take another break. When we come back, we've got one of the longest segments of the show. I apologize for time flying so fast. It's going to be a very, very quick hour, as it always is. But when we come back, I want to ask you a little bit deeper, because this is life and death. This is life and death. Why won't our government do something about this? See, this I sound like the gun control guy, right? We have to do something, but we have answers. Sheriff Daniels has answers. Kurt has answers. I have answers. We've been there. We've seen it. Unlike the gun grabbers who just want to do something and take your gun. We know how to fix the problem, Becca. Hey, Mark Walters here. You know, in today's world, violent crime can victimize anyone at any time. You already know that. When it's your time, will you be able to protect yourself and your loved ones? That's the question. For your personal protection, consider Front Sight, one of the world's premier firearms training facilities located near Las Vegas, Nevada. Front Sight's founder and director, Dr. Ignatius Piazza, has arranged for you and your family to train there too, free of charge. Yes, it's true. Enter frontsight.com/Mark into your computer browser to secure a $2,000 4-day defensive handgun course absolutely free of charge with no hidden surprises or catches. Enter frontsight.com/Mark, M-A-R-K. After your first course at Front Sight, you'll leave with skills that surpass 99% of the gun-owning population. Guaranteed. Nobody does it better than Front Sight, but you must act before these free courses are all taken. Secure your free 4-day course at frontsight.com/Mark.
It's the Bill of Rights, not the Bill of Needs. I'm Alan Gottlieb, founder of the Second Amendment Foundation. When someone says we don't need that kind of gun, remind them the Founding Fathers determined what rights our Constitution should protect. There's a world of difference between rights and needs. It is not the function of government to tell us what we need or what we don't. Certainly no one needs an assault rifle or a Saturday Night Special, or for that matter, no one needs a Corvette. with a high-capacity horsepower engine capable of speeds to 150 miles per hour. But in the hands of honest, responsible individuals, you have the right of choice. You have the right to read books others don't like. You have the right to listen to any radio program we choose. You have the right to dress the way we want to. You also have the right to own firearms of our choice. So the next time someone tells you you don't need something, tell them it's the Bill of Rights, not the Bill of Needs. Join the Second Amendment Foundation today so this message and our Bill of Rights might live. Call 425-454-7012. That's 425-454-7012.
Hello, I'm Mike Lindell, and when I invented My Pillow, I wanted to have everything you'd ever want in a pillow. You can adjust the patented fill to your exact individual needs. You can wash and dry My Pillow, has a 10-year warranty not to go flat, and it's made in the USA. And now, for a limited time, you can get a queen-size premium My Pillow for the lowest price ever. Regularly $69.98, now only $29.98. That's a $40 savings. I'm also giving you deep discounts on all my My Pillow price, including my bed sheets, mattress toppers, and bath towels. Not only are you getting the lowest prices ever, but they make the best Christmas gifts ever. Buy now, and I'll extend my 60-day money-back guarantee to March 1st, 2021.
Hey, it's Mark. We don't like sports, the right to keep and bear arms, and we support Mike. Please visit MyPillow.com and click on the radio listener specials box and use promo code AAR for all of Mike's great discounts. Or call 800-978-9358, and remember, use promo code AAR.
As a gun owner, have you ever thought about the liability that would come with having to use your weapon in self-defense? Or the liability that would come with having one of your guns stolen or misused? Or perhaps you work in a profession like security or law enforcement that requires you to carry a gun. Regardless, it's well known that responsible gun owners and security professionals across the country have become targets of frivolous lawsuits. At X Insurance, we provide custom firearm liability insurance to eliminate your exposure and to protect you from unscrupulous lawyers. And if lawsuits do arise, we aggressively fight them. We're the very best at what we do, and we've been doing it for more than 40 years. We offer same-day quotes and solutions. So call us today, or have your insurance agent call us, and we can work with them to fill any gaps in your existing policy. Call today, and let's get that target off your back. For more information, visit xinsurance.com. That's xinsurance.com.
Brought to you by Mike Lindell and My Pillow. Don't forget to use the promo code AR at MyPillow.com. Welcome back. I was just writing Mike Lindell's name right there. Mike Lindell. You see that on the camera? Mike Lindell. Yes. I came back into the segment too, brought to you by Mike Lindell. Let me tell you something. That man, the champion of Donald Trump, is so despised and so hated, we have to help him. He has been supporting this radio program now for half a decade. Let me explain something to you. All you have to do is buy a My Pillow product, whatever it is, whether it's a towel, whether it's towels, whether it's pillows, pillowcases, whether it's a mattress topper, whether it's a pet bed. We have 6 pet beds. Our dog is queen around the house. All kinds of beds to choose from, and believe me, we call our little room in the house Louie Village because she owns it. AAR is the promo code. You get back at the leftist lunatic cancel cultures by buying something from him and use the promo code AAR. So if you've got an anti-gun friend or relative, buy them a My Pillow product, use the promo code AAR. When they slumber off and sleep and get a really good night's sleep, you can know they're supporting the right to bear arms, and they don't even know it. The promo code is AAR. Please support Mike Lindell. He's been a huge, huge supporter of this program for almost 5.5 years now. All right, we're back. Let's go right to it. Just jump right back in. We're talking with Arizona Sheriff Mark Daniels, and we're talking with Major League Baseball legend Curt Schilling, both good friends of mine. And Curt, let me welcome you back. We're going to go back to the sheriff. I mentioned that you and I saw this with our eyes. We were blown away by what we saw and what we heard that day. No question about it. You were as shocked as I was. I know it. And I said, there are things that we can do. Well, there was also a couple other people with us, and one of them just sent me a text. Steve was listening, who was with us and spent a couple days with us, and he says that he want to let you know that he is praying for Shonda and everything and your family. He can't wait to see it and lend whatever help he can lend into this process, having been there before. Curt, we know that we can do things to fix this border. Why isn't the government doing it? Now, we've got to try to drill down here because this has been administration after administration, Republican, Democrat. This board has been so porous. This is life and death, Kurt. I really want to know what you think about this.
Well, a couple things. First of all, we've had a border problem for every administration of my life. We can go back and watch audio and video of Clinton talking about the border crisis and how illegals shouldn't be let in the country and illegals shouldn't be given preferential treatment for American tax dollars. Donald Trump was the first person to ever actually do something about it, and look what it got him. Look what it got us. And I'll tell you what, guys, I am very uncomfortable and tired of having the conversation that we continue to have and that we continue to nurture the left's arguments. We're asking questions that we all know the answer to. That's a fact. And when we do that, we just run in circles and we don't ever actually do much. And that has been bothering me for the last 6 months on top of everything else. And the fact of the matter is, when you ask yourself why, the answers are they go back to the history of mankind. Greed and power. And we watched what greed and power brought us last November. And what will go down as one of the most fraudulent things that's ever happened in this nation's history. And now we're paying the price. And here's what I've tried to tell people. Listen, I'm wealthy. I'm retired. While I do care about who sits in the Oval Office for my country's health and security, it's not going to affect me. I don't have a job. I don't pay taxes in a sense anymore. I'm going to pay more for gas because Biden's foreign policy sucks. But for the most part, this isn't going to impact my life in a way that's meaningful unless somebody decides they're going to knock on my door and ask to take one of my legally purchased firearms. Then there's going to be a problem. And I keep going back to ask, and I think I asked you this, Sheriff, when I was there. My biggest question going into November was, what were the armed forces and what were law enforcement actually going to do when the rubber meets the road? Because the Capitol protest was what we know it was. It was a bunch of dressed up lefty, jort wearing, selfie taking frauds who, we know that Pelosi knew well, because she didn't want to cause a panic. But I got to tell you, Sheriff, when it came time for, we're talking about something that's borderline. We're talking about an armed insurrection in a sense, because the only way that Capitol thing would have worked, if it had been conservative Americans, they would have found a way to arrest the members of Congress who were guilty of treason and done away with what we're dealing with now. That didn't happen. When it came down to it, the law enforcement and our armed forces, I don't know how much choice they had. We're on the side of the government that was corruptly brought to power, and that we're now going to have to endure, because we're not going to be enduring Joe Biden much longer, because he's getting less and less TV time, because anybody that's been associated with dementia and Alzheimer's knows exactly what's happening to him. And you're already seeing Kamala Harris take calls from world leaders. But I don't know going forward. People say, wait till the midterms. Wait, well, hold on a second. What on earth makes people think that the midterms are going to be any different? We watched them do the same thing in the Georgia election 2 months after they did it in the general. What makes you think that we're going to have the ability to win any election that will actually transfer power back to the conservative causes, much less the next presidential election? And so we've made our bed. And I don't, short of us being the patriots we want to be, I don't know that there's anything on the horizon. And I hate to sound so gloomy, but you tell me that there's anything on the horizon that makes you believe the government's suddenly going to stand up and go, oh my gosh, look at how stupid we've been. Let's fix this.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Sheriff, let me take what Kurt said, and let me throw two questions at you, because you've answered these before, but we're going to ask them now on a completely different administration. When you and I talked about this before Trump was in office, when you and Kurt and I talked about this, he's not now. So when he says when the rubber meets the road, there's a lot of talk about gun confiscation. You live in Arizona. What would your deputies do in the event that monstrosity of HR 127 passes and Biden, if all you have to do is go to his website. It's not me and Kurt making this up, it's right on his website. step, right smack down to buybacks. So let's start with buybacks first, then I'll ask you the second question. What kind of position are you in, and what do you do when that happens? Are you going to buybacks on the people?
Well, first of all, no. But let me say this. Let me go back to what Kurt said, too. I think it's important that the perspective from sheriffs, the local law enforcement. Our biggest concern, and it's been going on for probably 6 months to a year without blowing up. We see that with COVID right now. You look at what happened on the Capitol. Very sad. The first is going to say that was a good time. That was horrible what happened at our Capitol. But let's go back within that year and look what happened in Seattle, Chicago, LA, Portland, Oregon. Places where the erosion of law has been destroyed. And that's what scares me as a law enforcement. I'm talking to my fellow sheriffs, law enforcement, federal, state. That's our biggest concern. The erosion of what we stand for in this country. Consequences to breaking rules. And there was nobody on the left side saying, this is bad what's going on in Portland. This is bad what's going on in Seattle. And what's happening, then when they hit the Capitol, again, I condone all violent behavior. Peaceful assembly is one thing, violence is another. Then you come up to current times. And the longer, and I don't think of the right word here, the more that we dispel our laws in this country, and the more that we ignore them, all the way down to border security, to confiscating guns, we need to stand up. And the answer to me, and that I and my team have worked with sheriffs, I say me, I'm talking about sheriffs in this country, is it starts in communities. It doesn't start in Washington, D.C. We have to take back our communities first.
Well, wait, hold on. I'm sorry. Let me interrupt you, sir. What is it? I understand. What does that mean? Because that's something, and you know, I know you to not be a political operative, so you're not speaking political speak. But after this break, Sheriff, I want you to tell me what you think that actually means in actual factual.
How do we do that? What as a community? We're going to let Kurt go question. You'll write the sheriff down when we come back. Don't go away. Man, oh man, I hate when this happens. We'll be right back, guys. Jews for the Preservation of Firearms Ownership has helped keep the American Jewish community safe. Phrases like gun control are just code words for removing your constitutional rights. Every American is on the verge of experiencing the evil that follows when the government is able to disarm a population like the Jewish people were before the Holocaust. We say never again. At JPFO, we understand what defense of freedom is really about. Find out at jpfo.org. Jews for the Preservation of Firearms Ownership. That's jpfo.org. Defender Coffee was created by Patriots for Patriots. It's coffee for Americans devoted to defending the Second Amendment. It's coffee for Americans who understand that if you don't fight for your freedom, you lose it. That's why Defender Coffee donates profits to gun rights organizations that fight to defend the Second Amendment. When you drink Defender Coffee, every single cup defends your right to keep and bear arms. Visit DefenderCoffee.com today and get free shipping when you join the coffee club. DefenderCoffee.com.
From Crossbreed Holsters comes the women's appendix with softer leather and smoother corners. The women's appendix holster was designed specifically with the female body in mind. This holster is intended for popular small firearms and has no pin, so it can be worn on the front side of the body. Featuring a cross-breed hand-molded pocket for a perfect fit, we ensure the women's appendix is your answer for any woman who wants to carry a small firearm in a front position. This versatile holster can be worn in a standard setting or cross-draw fashion. Find your perfect fit today at crossbreedholsters.com.
Gun owners across the country have become targets of frivolous lawsuits. At X Insurance, we provide custom firearm liability insurance to eliminate your exposure and to protect you from unscrupulous lawyers. And if lawsuits arise, we aggressively fight them. We're the best at what we do, and we've been doing it for more than 40 years. We offer same-day quotes and solutions. So call us today or have your agent call us, and let's get that target off your back. For more information, visit xinsurance.com.
For 30 years, Jews for the Preservation of Firearms Ownership has worked to help make American Jews feel safe and secure. We know that never again is a verb, and it needs your backing. Go to jpfo.org. That's jpfo.org. And learn what defense of freedom is really about. When government wants your guns but keeps Girls, they are not on your side. JPFO.org. Shoots for the preservation of firearms ownership. The Second Amendment Foundation has grown into what many believe to be the most important gun rights organization in America. With hundreds of thousands of active members, it is the Second Amendment Foundation defending your rights in courtrooms across the nation. Winning these battles in local jurisdictions all the way to the Supreme Court requires tireless effort and help from you. Please help the Second Amendment Foundation defend your freedoms by joining or donating today at SAF.org. Join us at SAF.org. Thank you.
As a gun owner, have you ever thought about the liability that would come with having to use your weapon in self-defense? Or the liability that would come with having one of your guns stolen or misused? Or perhaps you work in a profession like security or law enforcement that requires you to carry a gun. Regardless, it's well known that responsible gun owners and security professionals across the country have become targets of frivolous lawsuits. At X Insurance, we provide custom firearm liability insurance to eliminate your exposure and to protect you from unscrupulous lawyers. And if lawsuits do arise, we aggressively fight them. We're the very best at what we do, and we've been doing it for more than 40 years. We offer same-day quotes and solutions. So call us today or have your insurance agent call us, and we can work with them to fill any gaps in your existing policy. Call today, and let's get that target off your back. For more information, visit xinsurance.com. That's xinsurance.com.
Showing's question to Sheriff Mark Daniels in Arizona. What does that even mean? How do the communities fix this? And then my follow-up to that is, Sheriff, is it getting to the time where you need to ask your community, that you need to step up and say, hey, listen, our government's not going to help us. I need my constituents' help at the border. Exercise your rights to keep and bear arms, and I need your help. I'll deputize every damn one of you if I have to stop these numbers. Go ahead. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Mark. Here's what I mean when I say that is, first of all, it starts with your elected leaders at the community level. That's truly where it starts. We need elected leaders in the communities, mayors, city council, sheriffs, all the way through that truly believe in their oath of office to protect Americans and protect our Constitution. And if we don't, you look at what happened in Portland, Seattle, especially those two urban areas. Where were their mayors? Where were their sheriffs? Where were those people that are there to take an oath to protect those citizens and allow that lawless behavior? That's what I mean by that. And sheriffs, there's over 3,000 sheriffs in this country. Sheriffs need to unite. I have a national sheriffs meeting on March 8th. I'm putting a resolution together that we unite sheriffs in this country to protect communities, protect their oath of offices, keep the politics out of it, and let's go forward as a team. We're a driving force to what this country stands for. And I believe we're one of the elected officers, last elected officers, that truly believe in that.
And Kurt, you know the sheriff, if you and I have talked about it before, Kurt, sheriff's the oldest constitutionally elected office in the country.
Yeah.
It's the most powerful office there is out there.
Yeah.
Get away, Kurt.
Here, Sheriff, here's my response to that as a tax-paying American citizen. Politics and my government has failed me. And I'm not talking about just at the White House. I'm talking about at local levels, because the questions you're asking, again, you know the answers to. The people in Portland and Seattle, the government in Minnesota voting to, back up. The government in Minnesota was assisting in the voting of, quote unquote, defunding police programs. Those same people were called on a Zoom call bitching and complaining about the lack of police response time to crime. So when you say, and again, I hear what you're saying, but isn't it what we've always said? And by the way, for anybody that doesn't know, power in this country for you and I comes at the local level. The school boards, the town committees, those are the people that vote on the local laws that impact you and your family more than the White House in many ways. And Sheriff, I don't mean to be a poo-poo guy, but the fact of the matter is our government has failed us at every level. And when you talk about communities taking back I don't know what that looks like. And you know, I hate to even have this conversation, but I keep going back to the Patriots at Concord in 1775, when they were faced with what was as tyrannical a government as ever existed. At some point, the people said enough. And I don't know that when we say enough now, that we can say enough through the ballot box, because the ballot box, we now know, can be altered to be what it needs to be for the people in power to retain their power. And again, I'm not going to draw you into these conversations. I was up election night. I watched the Biden vote total change by 200,000 in Georgia, and Trump's go down at 4 a.m. I saw the videos. I read the affidavits. I know all the things that happened on a national level. And you know as well as I do, it doesn't take hundreds of millions of people. In fact, at the local level, it takes 50 to 100 to 500 votes to make sure things are done. And so when you talk about taking our communities back, I really don't know what that means anymore. And because, listen, I'm comfortable with who I am and what I believe in and my love of this country. If there was something I could do at a community level that would change the community I live in a lawful manner, and would be something that I could put together as a local community program that would grow and could grow to every community that wanted in the country, I'd do that. I don't know that exists anymore, because if you talk, I've been marginalized to the point where people just scoff and dismiss anything I say because I'm a bigoted, Islamophobic, racist. Although I've never exhibited any one of those qualities ever in my life. But the fact of the matter is, Sheriff, if you're a conservative and you want to rise up and have a voice and make a difference, whether it's at your local community level or in the Senate, you have no microphone, because the media and DC and the powers that be will make sure your voice is quelched. And forget using social media anymore to get your message out to people. I mean, we have been, and I work for the Young Americans Foundation, and I speak to campuses around the country. And I got to tell you, one of the things I told these kids 2.5 years ago, and I'm not a soothsayer or a tarot card reader, but I said, listen, kids, it's getting to the point now. The battle now is going to be a battle for information, period. And it is next to impossible to find the truth. And I have watched, honest to God, hand to God, I've watched less than 10 minutes of television news since the election, because I no longer can rely on anybody on television, short of Newsmax, to tell me the truth. The media has stopped reporting the news that we and the events in the world, and tried to become the news and events of the world. And so I don't know what that means anymore. What does it look like? I mean, how do I get a local movement to make a difference? What take our communities back? I'm not going to live in a crime-ridden community, but I sure as hell would go to one if I thought I could take ideas there and implement them and help them become more self-sufficient. But I don't know what that means. I don't know what it looks like.
And Kurt, I hear what you say, and I respect what you say, and I agree with what you said. Well, we can never give up hope.
Right.
And what I mean is things are growing from grassroots efforts up. I mean, and you hit it on the head, and I 100% agree with you. You look at Washington, D.C., especially in our congressional side of it, the Republicans had the House, Senate, and the presidency. They couldn't even secure this border. They could not even secure it. All the way up to where it's at today. I mean, they have failed so many different ways, and I agree with that. Where I'm at is, I have no control what goes on in that White House. We all know that. We're such a small voice. Especially 88% of policing is rural in this country. But rural America needs to take back this country. Is it going to be a fight? Is it going to be a challenge? Is it going to take some courage? You bet. But I count on our sheriffs in this country, the 3,000 sheriffs, to stand up for what they were voted to do, not what they were politicized to do, but what they were elected to do, and support their oath of office to protect Americans and enforce the law and the Constitution of both their state and the U.S. If we can do that, man, we are moving the needle.
So I'll come back to you then. What happens when the oath of office that you're sworn to protect presents a domestic enemy, presents someone that puts you in front of people that are in power that aren't abiding by the oath of office? And so, one of the biggest problems I have right now is the only thing harder than being a white male American and trying to have a voice today is being a black male American conservative.
Oh man, I tell you what, guys, that music means we're gonna have to cut it in what is. I'm sitting here listening to you guys, and I'm friends with both you guys. I just don't know how to make time go. I don't know. I yell at my producer during the breaks every time. More time. It's terrible. Kurt, you're gonna be back. I know you will. Sheriff Daniels, I know you're gonna be back as well. Here's the thing. Let's leave it with this. We want to help you. We'll do anything we can. And I know both you guys believe, as I believe, that while it might be an uphill battle, freedom will always prevail. Sheriff, I think that's what you were saying. It might be tough sometimes, but freedom will always prevail. Guys, I love both of you. We will talk soon.
Sheriff.
Until we meet in the round table in the next hour.
Sheriff, God bless you. Stay safe.
Back right after this. Unbelievable stuff.
All right, hey guys, I'm gonna log off here, head downstairs, and put the game on. Gonna be a fun game to watch tonight, kids. Yeah, that hour goes by insanely fast. And for what it's worth, I just noticed that the Chicago Blackhawks had a 5-goal third period, and not any of my guys were the guys scoring, but I did win some bucks tonight, so that's a good thing. I'll be back in a little bit, guys. Gonna do the game in about 10 minutes.